Hello, Leo, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look together at the next 6 to 8 weeks, helping you navigate all the opportunities, the twists and turns, and helping you make the best choices possible. If you're brand new, let me just show you the overall forecast and how it's organized here. I always like to begin with channeled messages. These primarily come through dreams, but also through meditation, and it's basically me connecting with my guides, and I'll share that with you first. Then we'll get into the Celtic Cross. I always allow it to just take whatever format it needs to first, then we'll dig a little deeper in the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. That's the overarching organization for the first part. There's a lot more to come, but we'll get into that as we progress through the reading today. If you enjoy any part of this, please hit that subscribe button, hit like as well, and comment. That engagement helps the video, and also because I'm experimenting with different formats and changing up some of the way that I'm delivering things, I want to make sure that you don't miss anything. So subscribing and opting into notifications is actually really important for that. Likewise, you can also follow me on social media. It's always my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on most major platforms, Twitter being the exception. All the links are here. I'll also post it in chat. A quick reminder that when you do follow me on social media, I don't use direct messages and I don't offer private readings. I just do public readings like this. So if anyone reaches out offering a one-on-one or something of that nature, you know that that's not me. If you would like to show some love and support, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Like I said, just watching and engaging is one way. You can also give a super sticker or super chat, and I'll see that and recognize that in chat while I'm helping you with the premiere here. Also, you can gift a membership or become a member, and membership is a way for you to get a chance to vote twice. We've got enough members now, I might actually start doing some member exclusive videos as well, so more to come on that in the weeks to come. All right, so with that being said, let's get straight into channeled messages. Today, movement is going to be a big part of what we're talking about. In my dreams, I was seeing kind of like whitewater rapids, right? This very quick movement, and I think that this is representing a period in time where you're being asked to move, to change, to shift a little bit, and I'll help you navigate through that. We also have the brown bear, so I'll talk about that after we go through the first totem. As I said, the energy of the rapids is a chance for you to kind of shake up your thinking and shake up your working and living opportunities around you. So let's talk about what the rapids are. They're sections of a river where the riverbed has a deep gradient or a steep gradient, and it causes an increase in water velocity and obviously turbulence as well. So one thing that I thought of with this was Seven of Cups, because it's a card that kind of goes between. A lot of times we'll see it in the air, but it's really about emotions and water and our kind of connection to these thoughts and these ideas. So sometimes going between the two is what causes the sort of turbulence in our head, or we have a hard time focusing because of distractions in the environment. So I definitely picked up on Seven of Cups energy with this totem. You're being asked to make quick decisions. Seven of Cups wants to explore, wants to ruminate on things, but the energy of the rapids, it's basically trying to move you down a path more quickly. So you may wish you had more time, but there may be certain limits that are here to ensure that you don't overthink, because sometimes we just intuitively know. We know it here, and the universe is pushing us a little bit to trust the heart and the third eye. You won't be led astray. You already have what it takes. And it's typically the very first thing that comes to mind when you're trying to problem solve or when you're trying to figure out, should I or should I not do this? Just trust that instinct, okay? You've got this. That was the first thing that I picked up on. All right, moving into the next message here. This is about realizing what you already have. There's one more card that I could have featured here. I have the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. I could have also put the Four of Cups, because the Four of Cups is about a low-hanging fruit that's right there, or like an ace floating in the sky. The universe wants you to see it, but sometimes you're fixated on a preconceived or previously existing expectation. So let go of what you think or expect something to be and just be aware of how people, opportunities, and ideas want to come through and flow through you right now. So you don't have to reinvent, you just have to be present. And the ace represents an idea that you just build upon, and the Wheel of Fortune shows how quickly things can move from that. So look at what you've already established. Look at where maybe there was a delay, or there was hesitation, or there was room for improvement. Take those learnings, apply it to that idea. This time it can work. So the solution's in front of you, it's closer than you think, or it may just be a reorganization of something that you tried before, but this time it's going to absolutely succeed, which is great. The next piece helps you understand how and why this is coming through. So let's talk about whitewater rapids a little bit. Basically, these form, again, when there's a gradient change and there's enough turbulence that air is trapped in the water, and it creates that sort of frothy energy. The reason I wanted to focus on this is because we have air, water, and then the rocks and the earth representing earth. So 3 elements here mixing together. Passion for the cups, ideas and action for the air, and then also how to ground it for the earth. So things are coming together quite nicely. In fact, that wheel of fortune that's moving, it's also part of the churning energy here. You're not meant to stagnate in just the emotional or just the financial or just the practical. You have to kind of move it forward. So look at a situation from all angles. That's why I put the world here. This is about expansive thoughts and just general expansion too, moving from here and growing it to this place. If you can do this, you're going to be able to really see this. First of all, it's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more engaging, and you're going to see this grow. The World in Tarot is one of the best cards for business and learning because it's about reaching new heights and reaching people that you didn't expect that you could reach, okay? We're going to avoid any limitations that the Devil card, which is not featured here, would bring in, which is, I'm afraid to do this because it's unknown. We talk about, the devil you know. The devil you know is still a devil, so we're going to let go of the fear of unknown. That's all that represents. We're going to let go of the fear of trying something new. If you never try something new, you're not going to be able to know if you like it or if it's going to work or to learn from the challenges, the turbulence that comes with change. Ultimately, this is about reaching high and reaching for that star in the sky, becoming the star, right? All of this is part of a tower energy, but a tower reverse energy, which is knowingly, wantingly deciding that this is the time and you become the sort of force that moves things. So that's why I didn't even feature the card here in the first few slides. So there's a tower reversed energy that is moving through your sign, but helping your sign as well, okay? The next totem and the next thing that I want to talk about is the bear. And I was shown the brown bear, like I said, either a grizzly or a Kodiak. And basically what I saw with this was the very long claws that they have. And to me, this represented hands-on energy. Also, if I were to pick a tarot card for a bear, I would pick the King of Pentacles because it is about domain and home and resources and kind of what you would expect. You wouldn't want to go up against the King of Pentacles if it was an issue of protection. So there's definitely a grizzly energy to this particular card. Now, what does the claw mean for you? It means that in this moment in time, people are more willing to give you what you're looking for. This is the King of Resources, King of Pentacles. If you are hands-on and you are willing to kind of march side by side with them. So for those of you that are used to either kind of sitting in the back or not putting yourself out there, or if you're a leader and you're not used to kind of rolling up your sleeves, this is a time where you have to shed the discomfort and really throw yourself in the mix. Because people are excited about what you bring to the table, and it's the way that you talk or the way that you work or just the ideas that you present that's really going to be the glue that holds this next moment together for you. So I'm encouraging your engagement. As you put yourself out there, you're going to receive more because the King of Pentacles is never lacking. And I'm featuring a King of Pentacles upright. So it's just about saying, not only am I completely invested in this, but I'm actually going to participate with you. And this is how invested I am. I'm going to put my name on the line, So I'm always more apt to believe in someone if they have something at stake too. So show that you are willing to put it out there, put your reputation, or you're going to stand behind your word, or that you're going to work side by side to make something a success. Again, this is going to be very helpful for those of you in business, school, or if you're just trying to offer constructive criticism to someone. They want to see that they have your support, that they're not alone. And yeah, your hands-on approach is what I saw. Also, I see you being able to dig and get to the bottom of something because that's what claws do, and protect yourself. So one of the other things with this is to make sure that you've adequately legally protected certain things. So this would be wills and trusts, this would be legal contracts, all of those things, making sure that they're buttoned up, okay? Again, your input is what's going to ensure the success and also get people to want to buy into the next big thing. The next piece of research that I found was kind of an interesting contrast to what we would normally think of a bear. Sometimes we see images of them on their hind legs with the sort of claws out, and they're looking intimidating. That's not all that a bear can do. It's actually very cognitively advanced here. So they have one of the biggest brains for hunting animals compared to a lot of other animals out there, and particularly compared to their body size. So they're able to use tools, they're able to think through things, and to me this is a nice problem-solving energy that would come through with the totem, so the King of Wands, basically. If you have anything that is in front of you that is challenging, rather than going to getting really big physically, kind of this causing a scene or talking without thinking, this is really saying take a moment to pause and going back to some of the things that we did at the beginning, or we talked about at the beginning. Look at what you already have in front of you. See if there's any research available to inform you on what's worked before. Tap into the resources available around you and put it all together. Then you could be the one, like what a great leader does is they can analyze and act quickly, being able to intuitively pull all those pieces together. And that's really what this month is about for you. Boldness will be rewarded in this period. And if there's any situations in your life where there are limiting people or thoughts, you also are being asked to step away from that. The final slide here is about the hibernation habit of bears. As you know, every winter, most species go into some form of hibernation to conserve resources. When the winter comes and there's fewer natural resources around, they go into hibernation and take care of themselves, basically. This is a self-care routine also, if we're looking at this and kind of transposing it over human beings. It's the ability to decide how to pace yourself. If there's too much going on in the environment, you can be discerning. You can actually pull in some of that Six of Pentacles energy to make sure that you're getting enough rest. Four of Swords. We can't just do the Four of Swords. We have to say yes to some things, no to some things. What you're going to decide here is, if I do this, will it exhaust me and not allow me to still be present tomorrow, next week, next month? So one of your criteria is, how is this going to affect my longevity? That'll help you say yes or no. The other thing is passion. Do you want to do it? Is it engaging? And then the other thing is, what's the return energetically? So it's not just about how it exhausts you or what's going on there, but are you also getting something, mind, body, spirit, intellectually, passionately? Is there something that you're getting back from this? Those are going to be some of the criteria. You'll have your own as well to decide how much, how often, or if at all you want to do something. And this is going to help you maintain energy, maintain momentum, and make great things happen, okay? And yes, sleep is still an important piece of all of this. So the one thing that you can't afford to do is to burn yourself out or run yourself into oblivion here. So definitely practice good self-care, make sure that you're getting enough rest, and say yes and no in a very mindful sort of way. And I gave you some ideas there on what you could use, and you're going to add based on your own needs and your own sort of energy, what you want to use as your criteria. Okay, so those are all of the beautiful messages for the channeled portion of this forecast. Now we're going to get into the Celtic Cross. For today's Celtic Cross, I'm going to be using the Ethereal Visions Luna deck. So let me just get everything set up here and we'll begin. All right, everyone, let's get into the Celtic Cross. We're taking a look at the next 6 to 8 weeks, focusing on messages that will help for Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, any aspect of your chart that you happen to know. And again, you can cross-watch if you'd like to as well. There is the Tower energy that I picked up on with the Rapids. Energy of change also connected to that. This is all connecting nicely. Opportunity as well. So I like what we're seeing. Again, very much in the energy of the Rapids. What a beautiful, we'll talk about this in a second here, but this is change for the better. And the Fate card, which is a bonus one in this deck, a very powerful outcome. All right, let me go ahead and expand it, and then we'll get into all of this and break down the messages. So far, I'm really excited to talk about everything that I see here. All right, let's see. Typically, 2 cards come in this deck always, which is interesting. Shuffle this one more time. There we go. Okay, some beautiful messages coming through today. I especially like our dual catalyst here, the Starborn as the presenting energy, and then the ring as the sort of latent or beneath the surface energy. Let's begin with the Starborn. The words that come through from my guides as I look at this is return to form, and maybe like realignment with your sort of higher self. So we see the cosmic egg, we see a crack in that egg, which is being sort of precipitated or caused by the tower event or energy or opportunity in front of you. When we see the tower, it isn't always a bad thing. A lot of times towers can represent a change in fortune for the better. And that's actually what we see here as we look at all the alignment of cards here on the right here. So we see tower, we see death reversed, end of stagnation, ace of opportunities, ace of pentacles and opportunity coming in. And then the fate card, which is basically saying you're now perfectly aligned to something that from a soul perspective you signed up for. Everything is coming together exactly in the right shape, at the right form, at the right moment. So sometimes we have to be put into a position of discomfort. We have to be pushed from something. So the crack in this egg, for some of you, could have been an incident at a job where you decided enough is enough, I quit. It could be something where you got excited about signing up for a program or for some new, opportunity. You're like, that's what I want to learn more about. That's me. So whether it's what you don't want or what you do want, or you look at someone in your life and you're like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and you connect with them. All of these are changes for the better that would put a crack in the existing foundation. It's going to say, I'm going to shake apart what you have, and we're going to build something new. We're constantly deconstructing and reconstructing elements of our life. It never stops throughout our lifetimes, right? So what happens with a kind of like tower energy is it has to happen now. And that's why I saw the rapids. And I told you, even though I didn't feature the tower, that I felt the tower throughout all of those. So I think it's a very positive tower here. There is a birthing energy that wants to come through, like Empress and Fool and Sun energy, because Empress is the eternal mother. Fool is beginnings, and Sun is the child or the birthing energy. So I could see all of those contained here, plus an ace of pentacles, which we did see come through. So it's good change, folks. It may feel like, can I do this? Will it be okay? You're thinking these things, but yes, you can do this. Of course you can. So the first thing is to accept the call to action, accept the changes that are happening, and kind of flow with it and think it's going to be okay. It's all going to shake out all right. The card underneath it is commitment. We have the ring. So this ring card is about seeing, first of all, it's committing to yourself, saying, I'm going to do this, or I believe in myself, or I'm going to just be accountable to this outcome. And when you are accountable and you believe in yourself, then the birthing energy here of the Starborn actually comes through in a beautiful way. And also, this could be birthing you into the star, which is one of the best cards in the major arcana, because that is absolutely alignment with source. That is also calling in high partnerships, great sort of support and energy around whatever it is that you want to do as well. So I'm excited, Leo. I like what I see so far. Let's go ahead now and take a look at what's at the center of the spread here. All right, your center card is probably one of the more challenging ones that you're dealing with here. We have two cards that in and of themselves cannot not necessarily be like, yay, 5 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. They have with them some lessons and some challenges. So let's look at them both, and we'll talk about how they relate. All right, so focusing on the center card, the 5 of Wands. One of the first words that comes to mind as I look at this is motivation. What is it that motivates you? What is it that excites you? What is it that gets you up in the morning? Is it enough? What we are initially sort of connected to as time goes on, oftentimes that waxes or that wanes. So just because you were really engaged with something when you were 15 Maybe when you're 50, that same energy isn't there anymore. Sometimes it doesn't even take that long. It could be 5 to 7 years because we're regularly changing and shifting energetically. Even our bodies, I think, what is it, every 7 years or whatever, all the cells regenerate. But it doesn't take that long for us to move through periods of change. So if you feel like you've gotten everything that you needed to out of something, a situation, again, some sort of an experience in your life, then give yourself permission to change. It's okay to surrender to change and to let the mask go. We don't have to wear the mask and pretend like this is okay. The one thing with this, though, is work can be done, great work, because when we see the starborn energy here, this could potentially be one of the greatest things that you've been working on. And so the motivation to stay connected to this is what's going to be important. Crossing this card is resources, 7 of Pentacles. It's also healing. Both the accumulation of resources and also the time it takes to repair or heal, all of these things sometimes can't be rushed. If you try to take a shortcut with respect to making money, there may be a legal pitfall, there may be a quality assurance issue. If you try to jumpstart healing and you don't give your body enough time to heal, same thing can happen. You can end up injuring yourself even more and then you lose time. So what I see here is focusing on motivation and not taking unnecessary shortcuts, patience, diligence, and finding a way to stay motivated and in the mix. And if there's something else that's calling to you, remembering that accountability was one of the things that I mentioned. So finish what you started and then you can start on the next big thing. But accountability and completeness and staying true to your word, that's definitely a piece of this. With the 7 of Pentacles, there's always a little message or test from the past. Basically, this card says you've learned how to manage resources better. There's probably been something in the past where you overpromised, underdelivered, or you just spent more than you had, or again, you tried to take a shortcut. This time around, there may be a temptation from someone around you that hasn't learned that lesson or thinks that you're going to kind of fall into an old habit, but you're not going to. The 7 of Pentacles is a choice. It's a choice to do the right thing. It's a choice to be, basically very outspoken, and you're going to be all right this time around. But when the test comes, don't feel nervous. Just do what's right? Easier said than done, but you will be all right on that. All right, as we look at the deep past, I think one of the most challenging things for you in this moment is you can't always see everything from soup to nuts of what something's going to look like. A large part of this is going to be you relying on people around you to execute on a vision, you trusting in your own hope and intuition, and really making sure that you show up and you trust that there will be that eventual sort of like end output or end outcome. And knowing that ambiguity, risk, and the unknown, it's part of any developmental process. So we have the 8 of Swords here, which is feeling like you're in the dark. There may be things in your past that make this less comforting and less dealable for you. So maybe that's because somebody hid something from you, or you were caught unaware and caught by surprise and you weren't prepared. So whatever the sort of triggering incident was in the past, you've also learned from that, and it will be better this time. And there may not be a next time because lessons come through until we learn them. Once we learn them, we open ourselves up to receive something better, something that's less painful, something that's less frustrating. Ultimately, the way to deal with the 8 of Swords is 2 things: education and information, because enlightenment breaks down the lack of knowledge or the ignorance that can be a part of the 8 of Swords. The other thing is hope. We don't get to see everything. We have to have hope, faith, and vision. So education, information, research, hope, faith, vision. Mix these things together, 8 of Swords will go away. You can also simply ask questions. If you feel like you don't have what you need to complete a task, if you feel like someone's being less than forthright, if you just don't know, ask. Ultimately, that is the way to solve it. We are sometimes afraid to appear like we don't have knowledge, but I think the strongest leaders and the best coworkers and the best sort of like mentors in life, they put it out there. They'll say, you know what? That is an excellent question. I'd love to get some information for you. Give me some time and I'll get back to you. That's how a mature adult will kind of handle not knowing it. You can say, I don't know yet, but I would love to look into that. Can I have some time? Can I have some support? Do you want to look it up with me? Like, there's a lot of ways that you can approach that, and that's how, okay? Let's look at your recent past. We have the Moon card. I love that Artemis is featured on this one. We see that you're going exactly after what it is that you want. And the other thing with this is not being afraid to target a fear or an anxiety or a desire, because all of these things comprise the Moon card. It is raw intuition. It is the sort of lower energies and lower emotions that we all have that we need to deal with, and bringing those to the light of day. The other thing with the Moon card is a reminder, especially with respect to that center card, that you're very much focused on getting something done. This can be drama. If we were to, I'll pull up the regular Moon card while we're talking here. So as we look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, we see the challenge of hopes and fears. We see the drama of competition, and then we see the opportunity for progress. And there's a balance of all of this. You have to pay attention to hopes and fears. You have to be aware of competition and energies in the environment, but the main purpose is to go towards enlightenment. And the Moon is helping you see things that you have to deal with. This targeting energy on this particular card tells you that as long as you can maintain your central focus and not get distracted, you're going to remain successful. And collaboration over competition is key. So collaborate and cooperate rather than compete. And that is basically, there's more competition happening in this one. We really want to try to get people in the same energy at the same time, and that's going to help you out. So you may be the one that's trying to be the task manager saying, let's get back on track, okay? And you have the ability to get what you're going after this month. Remember that. You have 2 aces. Some of you are drawn between 2 opportunities: love, passion, something that you're desiring, and then something tangible that you've committed to. There could also be 2 opportunities in love. Love, by the way, could go into something much deeper. An Ace of Cups and an Ace of Pentacles is a hand in marriage, or a partnership, or an opportunity where someone says, I like you, I want to connect with you. Are we partners in this? And again, it could be business or love. We'll look more at that as I break it down into health, wealth, love, and destiny in a few moments. Let's take first the Ace of Cups, which is in the crowning position. So one of the areas where you're focusing right now, I would say primarily, is how do you feel? Who do you want to spend time with? And what do you want to do? There is a lot of like want, desire, wish, and that would be a big part of the Moon card. So it's asking you to choose who matters and what matters. And once you have that focus, then you're going to be able to really pull that into your life. Remember again the energy that we talked about with the 6 of Pentacles when I was talking channeled messages, and now the 7 of Pentacles here, which is a warning over overextension. Do less, do it better. Don't try to get everything you want at once. Focus on the thing that makes the most sense, where you can make the most impact. Then move on to the next thing. Because the 7 of Pentacles is a warning over doing too much or promising too much and not being able to deliver. Ultimately, though, when it comes to people and anything that you're kind of putting out into the world right now, Ace of Cups is pretty darn good. This is saying people can pick up on your passion. And I love how we see the dove in the background. It almost looks like a thunderbird on this particular illustration. But it's basically saying that ability to reach new heights is available to you if you share your heart, share your passion. We see also the 2 lotus blossoms or lily blossoms here. I like to remind people that you've worked really hard to get to this point, and people can pick up on that emotional depth that you have. With this card, one last thing, and then we're going to move on to near future. Whenever an Ace of Cups comes through, there's always a question, which is, are you ready to receive? Because we see in the near future that Ace of Pentacles, so there is a question there of, are you ready? Okay? Let's focus now on near future. 3 of Wands. Things are closer than they seem. This is a card of getting what you want. It's one of the best cards we could pull for a future position. 3 of Wands says not only is what you seek happening and within reach, but it's already around you. My favorite decks always have the person in the mix. So the 3 of Wands in the Light Seers deck, I'll see if I can pull this up here, is great because we see a surfer kind of like on the shore, ready to make things happen. And rather than waiting up on the hill and hoping that everything will work out, because of the tower energy, because I also picked up on the fact that, like the rapids were coming through. Here we go. This is a Three of Wands that I love. We see the person that is basically not waiting for the ship, but is the ship. They are the vehicle of change. They see what they want, they go for it. So that's a sort of elevated Three of Wands. This Three of Wands is also great because what we see here is, I was showing you that path for the moon. This person saw the path and they're realigned with it. So we can pull a little bit from both of those Three of Wands illustrations. One is to just go out and meet the opportunity. Don't wait for it to come to you. The other one is to stay focused on the task, which is connected to this. And actually, look at how these are aligned. Here's the moon saying, focus on cooperation, focus on the path. Resources are enough if you do that. Ask for anything that isn't clear, and you will receive. So she's basically helping us see everything that we need to focus on, and she's telling you to focus on the path. That arrow is pointed straight at the path here. So if you're ready, if you're willing, and if you're focused, you're going to see a breakthrough. And that brings us to the next card, which is the Tower. You are the Tower. The Tower isn't happening to you. You're the Tower. This is in the position of self and ego. Therefore, it's very powerful. This is a card of change, of new foundations, and enlightenment as well. One of the elements, and you can see it up here, it's just a little bit different, but there's always a lightning bolt. When I think of Greek and Roman mythology, it's the king of the gods. Zeus is the one that had the lightning bolt. And if he needed to see something happen, he would throw that bolt and make the change happen. So there's actually an energy of empowerment in the Tower if you are the force of change, the agent of change. So the main advice coming through with the cards this month is if you feel like a change is happening, if you feel like a change is necessary, you're the one that is going to break that energy through. You're going to be the agent of change. Many of you may find yourself in a position where you need to move physically from one place to another, where you're coming in or out of a situation, going like in a relationship or out of a relationship, or accepting or quitting a job, accepting a contract, for instance. The important thing on this is the mask that's showing up here. This is a time to let go of anything that isn't completely authentic. And if somebody seems to you to be less than true, you're going to make sure that you break down that barrier too and get to the bottom of things. So this is a revelation energy. The moon in and of itself would be a revealer. Specifically, if it's in the upright position in the recent past, it's saying some things have come to your attention and now you're going to do something about them. And that's a good thing, because when we look at your environment, there is a need to break stagnation. So we have the Death card in reverse in the environment. And this is saying that the main thing that the universe wants you to focus on is movement, getting out there. This is why, as I said with the whitewater rapids that I was seeing in dreams, you don't want to wait too long. There's windows of opportunity, and they're pretty quick, because if this is your environment and this is you, that's the rapids, that's the change, and this is the opportunity that's awaiting you. So if you pause too long, if you wait and hesitate too much, one of those windows could close, and I don't want that to happen here. The Death card is basically in the environment to say there's someone, something, or a way of thinking or doing something where you're not seeing the movement. So a lack of progress, a lack of action, a lack of communication, that all constitutes communication from your higher self. It's saying nothing's going on there. If you're, why hit your head against a brick wall? Focus on something where you are able to affect movement and you feel like there is, again, growth. If we were to take the Death card and turn it upright, it's basically transformation. It's a gateway or a portal. So what you're going to be doing this month is deciding, where can I open up my energy? Where can I open up to growth? Where do I feel like things are starting to shift and move within, in my mind, in my heart, in my life? This is an end of stagnation, basically. And that's what the universe wants you to do. If you can do it yourself, you are the Tower. If you wait, the Tower comes through. So I feel like you absolutely can make these changes happen. And I'm so excited as we look at these last two cards. This is what it's all about, folks. The opportunity is an opportunity. We have an Ace of Pentacles. There could be new money, a new job, a new contract, someone who says, hey, I'm interested in you. There could be a promise in love. This is good across the board here. So all that you have to do is be willing to try something different, though. This isn't the same. It's literally attached to the death card and to the tower card. So from the ashes of something old comes something new and something better. We have the fate card here. And the fate card is a bonus one in this deck, and it's beyond the world. So in this deck, it's 22. There's a couple of additional cards, I think Fate and Artist and the Well. But anyway, the Fate card is attaching to what you came to this planet to do. So when we are planning our lives here and working with our guides and working with co-creating with the creator, we decide that there are certain pivotal points that we want to experience. It might be the love of your life. It may be some sort of breakthrough where you have great success. It could also be a challenging situation. Anything that's going to build your character and help you grow in a way that you needed and wanted to in this lifetime. That's why you came back. So as we're looking at this next 2 to 3 month period, some of you are entering into that big soul expansion. Things are going to feel, I think for many of you, easier than they have before. You could step into something and you meet someone and it's like, oh yeah, we're going to be fast friends. Or you apply yourself into a project or an opportunity and it's just like, is it really this easy? Why is this just happening? Things aren't just landing in your lap. It's a synchronicity. You've worked hard. You've opened up a portal, some sort of a growth option. And now all you have to decide is, are you ready? And that's up to you. But it looks pretty exciting to me. The only thing that's challenging for some of you is how quickly things are changing, that it's not what you're used to, that this could bring up some things from the past where you're uncertain. But when we look at past this sort of like fear and anxiety and then the rapid movement, all the other cards, all the ones on the top are great. So this is love and passion. This is opportunity and money. This is dreams coming true. This is something you didn't even expect, better than you kind of anticipated. And then we have this ace and we add it to the 7 of Pentacles. We have 8 of Pentacles, which is completion, which is knowledge, which is graduating, which is really kind of getting to that next level. It's good, folks. It's a good month. But one of the things that's going to be the biggest challenge for some of you is comfort with ambiguity, comfort with change, and then also being the agent of change. As we expand this to look at the next portion, health, wealth, love, and destiny, I'll try to help you through that and walk you through the specifics of how each area may be affected by this tower and death and fate energy, which don't be afraid, these are good energies. As a tarot reader, and I know a lot of you that watch me are tarot readers, it's fun to get these in the proper positions because it's showing rapid movement, rapid growth. Who doesn't want that, right? All right, let's start off with your health messages. I always like to remind you at this portion that I'm looking at energy and I'm looking a lot at like emotional components. But if there's anything going on with mental or physical health, obviously work with the appropriate professionals for that. With that being said, let's take a look at your oracle card. Although it came through reverse, we have the Spirit Fox coming through here and it says, what? Trust your talents in challenging times. Amazing synchronicity with respect to what's going on here. You are the agent of change. You have the wisdom that basically is going to carry you through this change. Don't worry about it. Don't second guess what you know, which is absolutely in alignment with that 7 of Cups message that I brought through. And we're going to bring it up just for a moment here in the channeled messages at the beginning. So for those that joined a little late, here we go. I said basically you're being asked to make quick adjustments in thought, movement, and direction. You may wish you had more time, but the time limits and unpredictability that you may encounter are there to help you not overthink. And ultimately, that's what this is saying. You've got this as long as you trust in your talents. Trust yourself, okay? High Priestess energy for sure coming through with this, and Magician as well. When we discount or don't believe in the High Priestess or the Magician, then we basically disempower ourselves, disenfranchise ourselves, and we are making life more difficult than it needs to be. So don't do that. And this is with respect to health, but the health card is connected to everything, like making healthy and happy choices in your life with respect to your relationships, your job, your living situation. That affects your physical health as well. So you know what to do here, you know what to do here, trust in that. Let's look at the cards themselves and see some additional messages, again, with respect to healthy choices and what's going on here. As we take a look at the deep past, we have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is basically reminding you that if there's something that you need help with or information on, to get that information. And if you see something or feel something and someone else discounts it, don't sweep it under the rug. Both the Eight and the Two of Swords are about making sure that you look at something even when you don't want to look at it, or if someone else dismisses it. I talked recently about a challenge I had with a doctor that wasn't listening to me. I found a better doctor, and immediately the situation improved because they were like, oh yeah, why did that happen? We should do this. And there was a better treatment option that happened. So get a second opinion. It's necessary sometimes. And also, again, just informing yourself, doing some research, and bringing that as well and asking questions. So being informed, being inquisitive, and seeking another counsel, legal, medical, or even just like, again, in general life, just advice, go for it. You can only improve your situation by learning more. And that brings you out of that sense of fear that can happen with that Eight of Swords. This is also a card associated with vision and or hearing. So if you're having any issues with that, obviously you'll work with the appropriate professional. The Moon card can have to do with reproductive organs and also how we're holding on to water. So if you're having any issues with that, obviously, again, work with the professional. But this is also emotional. And what I see here is fear over change. So there's a big opportunity. It could mean a lot of movement in your life, but there could also be a lot of excitement about this. So this is how do you manage, how do you balance out opportunity without kind of allowing your head to go to too many places at once. Other than that, your cards are actually pretty good in that respect here. When we're looking at you, though, there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. Something in the environment doesn't suit you. The Death card in reverse can show, like, for instance, if you're at home and things haven't been moved around for a while, there could be stagnancy in the energy. So you could bring in a specialist that knows how to do feng shui and basically balance out the energy of the space. You could also be holding on to items that are weighing you down, that don't really serve an energetic purpose. So clearing the space so that there can be more openings, so that there can be more movement, so that new things can come in. That could be beneficial as well. Some of you might have also had a close brush with a health scare, a brush with death. So could be someone in your family that didn't kind of take care of themselves and you're going to change that trend. Or it could have been something that you were doing that wasn't ideal. You had a close call and now you're going to make better choices. The Tower card can be losing your balance. So if you're ever having any issues with vertigo, or again, just like me, if you had a trip or a fall, you want to take care of yourself, obviously. The good news here, though, when I'm looking at the Towers, it's also a rebuilding card. So for some of you that want to change what's going on here, this card allows you to do that. It says, I'm going to take down this energy and rebuild something new. So there's always a positive way to look at these. And what we see here then is the application of that goal or vision, and then you moving into something more satisfactory, more aligned to what you're trying to do. So overall, I like where we're headed with all of this, and I think you're on the right path. Okay, so that is just about everything for health. I think that the main thing here that I'd also like to focus on is the Three of Wands, which is once you've figured out what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it, that clarity of vision is also what's going to allow it to happen. So Artemis showing that bow and arrow and saying, focus on what your intention is. Don't get distracted in competition, and you're going to be okay. Let's move on to your wealth card. For wealth, we have angelic protection. So to me, this would be Archangel Michael, because Michael is like the quintessential protector. So for those of you that are looking for some support in meditation, as you're looking at making changes in career and in your sort of personal growth track, you can work with that Archangel. Now, as a general totem for work and money, this is about protecting your resources. I talked a little bit earlier, I think I did, about putting things into a contractual form here. So some of you might be building an estate. Some of you might be doing some sort of will and trust sort of organization. You might also be building a business, or you might just want to protect your assets with insurance and other things. So that's going to be a series of different people, from tax specialists to lawyers to your own family, to figure that out. We shouldn't wait until a big life change for this to happen. I was happy that when my mom was sick, she had already made clear what she wanted and things were wrapped up. I didn't have to worry about, the will, the trust, or any of that stuff, because it was very clear, it was very simple, it was all resolved. That gave me one less thing to worry about, because moving through the energy of helping someone transition and go to the other side, that in and of itself is enough. So do yourself a favor and deal with some of that planning for latter part of life, right? And for better and for worse when it comes into relationships. What do you want in sickness and in health? What is it? Spell it out for your family, spell it out for your partner. So that's an important piece. And we don't talk about that all the time because it may feel like it's morbid, but it's not. It's like one of the kindest things that you can do for the people that you love is make it easy, make it clear. Now, when it comes to other aspects of career, this is a boss card as well. We've been getting a lot of them. My single card pulls in the past week, I got like Queen of Wands. I just got the Emperor the other day. And this is basically you saying, no, this isn't right, or this is what we agreed to, or wait a second, I have a say in this. So definitely use your voice, put your foot down where you need to. And with that sword, that's also about editing a contract if you don't like it. Here's the cool thing, with 2 aces, you have a great chance of getting what you want. Put it out there with love and with clarity, and then back it up with legal stuff if you need to. But I think you have a really good shot at getting whatever it is that you seek. And there's no reason that you shouldn't ask for it. A lot of times we're very shy or we're very uncertain because we've been taught to be polite. But this is a time and a space where you have to be forthright. You have to be very clear in what it is that you want. Let's also now look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through. So one thing that I see with the 7 of Pentacles is if there's something where a person is late on a payment or you need to repay a debt, we need to focus on debt repayment and getting what's owed before moving to the next step. So secure a payment for someone who hasn't paid you before you give another piece of the work to them. That's one thing. And for you, again, to just pull good energy into your life, make sure that you're paying people accordingly as well. Many of you are ready to leave a situation here. So the Tower and the Death card, to me, very clear indication that there is a need to move on. For those of you that were taken out of a situation, let's say there was a layoff, a merger, or you were made redundant, what this is showing me is an opportunity that far exceeds that on the horizon. So you were being plucked out of the situation from the cosmic sense so that you would be ready for this bigger energy that's attached to your fate, to your purpose on this planet. So one door closes, maybe another 1 or 2 opens, and you have, because I saw 2 aces, you might have 2 really compelling choices in front of you. And sometimes we have to go through that energy of loss to bounce back. But the Death card is also rebirth. In many decks, it's called Death and Rebirth, and we see like a portal energy. So I think that if you're willing and ready to take the leap, you might be surprised at what waits on the other side. Again, take it from me. It's difficult, but it's worth the path. I had no idea what this journey was going to entail. I just knew that I didn't want to do what I was doing. And that was enough for me. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. I knew that this would be engaging and it would be fun. But I'm glad that I also just kind of got to experience this in an organic way as well. So sometimes the only thing that you know is that you're ready for something different. There's a desire for change. And let that change and curiosity kind of take you down some different twists and turns in the path. And that could be really satisfactory for many of you. Let me see what else is coming through. Things will manifest possibly quicker than you're ready for. This is instability, or this is you sort of being caught unawares. Don't be caught unaware, because with the 3 of Wands, I would go into something with the expectation that if you ask for it, you'll receive it, or if you're trying to manifest it, careful what you wish for. You could get all of that and then some. So I see rapid movement and change, so prepare for that. Make sure that you're ready to embrace, to accept, and to bring in that opportunity. All right, moving from your wealth card to love and relationships, we have a lot of movement and change here. Krishna coming through with the message of devotion. Let's go ahead and read it upright, and then I'll talk about why it was reversed. So it says, trust your spiritual guidance. We have a common theme here with trust. Your commitment has been recognized. You're loved unconditionally. So this is the second oracle card with trust. When we were looking at health, it said trust your talents in changing times. And now we're seeing this one, trust your spiritual guidance. And it says here again, unconditional love. That's the key thing here. So some of you may be struggling with accepting compliments or feedback or just support that's coming through because someone cares about you and they see that value and they say that they love you. So there could just be a lack of trust that you are worth it. So do you love yourself unconditionally? Are you good at accepting compliments? Do you have a difficulty in kind of like letting that good energy come in? We want to really focus on these two magnets here, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups like a big satellite dish saying, yes, I'm ready to receive. The Ace of Pentacles bringing it in and saying, not only that, but I'm invested. We talked about the claw earlier. This is about saying, yeah, let's do this together. Let me roll up my sleeves and I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, and I'm in it with you. This is a partnership. Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles, that's a nice partnership energy, by the way, as well. Let's see what else we want to look at here. If you're having a difficult time being recognized or recognizing others, that's another piece that's also a part of this. So when we look in a moment at the different levels of relationship, let's see if both partners are feeling that they're being supported, that they're being seen, that they're being heard. I think that's one area that can be improved across the board for everybody, whether it's friendships, work, or relationships. It's just making sure that you go out of your way to say thanks. Even for small things, especially for small things. Say, I've never said thank you for doing this, but it makes my day. Or, you know what, this really cheered me up today. You're amazing. Something that small, you're going to see that person light up. You have to really say it with authenticity. It can't just be a flat compliment. Say it with heart and really say, I'm so sorry I don't say this more often, but this is so important to the success of our relationship or this job or whatever it is that you're talking about. Okay? That'll really help. And then if someone isn't giving you the support that you need, you can talk to them and say, I need some validation or some feedback, or I need to know where I stand. So can we chat about that, because I'm in the dark? And that's what we see here for many of you, is this feeling of, where do I stand? Okay? One thing you don't want to do is lean into insecurity too much. But you could just ask for some feedback. Say, hey, what do you think about this? Or how is this working for you? That's a more empowered way to go about it than to kind of like worry about rejection or whatnot. All right, let's break this down into 3 categories. We're going to take a look at those of you in a relationship, those that are seeking love, those that are single, happy, but just kind of curious what's going on with general sort of relationship energy. Okay, if you're already in a relationship, let's take a look here at what's going on here. I think we need to revisit these 2 cards here. So there might actually be a question of commitment coming through, because we did get the ring that's under the surface, and we see this sort of birth or this new deepening of the relationship. So if you've been in a relationship for a while, if you're already partnered, you're not necessarily already married. Maybe there's this option to decide, is this for us? Is this the next level? What is the next level for you? There's that kind of conversation that's coming up for some of you. All right. Also, what I'm looking at here, like I said, is 2 evenly matched energies, and someone that you feel like this is, like, I feel like a lot of you do know that this is the one. It's just a question of, what does that mean if you take it to that next level, if you're not already married? This is a big shift. If you've just moved in with someone, by the way, that's one of the biggest life changes that you can also do, and that's taking some time to adjust to. All right, for those of you that are already married and we're looking at a sort of longer term relationship, there could have been a loss of a loved one, someone passed away. There could have also been a sale of a major property here. Maybe you guys are moving, you're deciding to downsize, you're deciding to take a trip, you're deciding to do something different. I see a journey together. The good news is the outcome cards are good. 3 of Wands and Fate. That tells me you still see each other as being part of that connection. And if you want to make it work, you can. For those of you that have decided to move on to another path, or maybe you lost your partner, we're looking at an existing relationship and the partner is sick, or the partner's recently deceased. What I'm seeing here is that there's more to come. Fate tells me that your story isn't done yet. There's more to come in this relationship, or you have a future relationship, and we'll look at that more in a second. Here's the main thing. Don't be afraid to talk about hopes and fears. This is being in the dark. So like I said, you could ask directly and say, hey, what did you think about this? Or how did you like it when I did that? You can just ask a direct question without any sort of padding and see how that goes. I do think that work and money, this is work, Five of Wands, and this is money. These are two things that need to come to the forefront, and there's a little fear over that. But as long as it's from a place of love and an optimism, I think you'll be all right. By and large, most of what I see here is good. This is stagnation. So if you've been in a relationship for like 40 years or something like that, a long-term relationship, death reverse is a normal thing. It's sort of like, what can we do to spice things up? What can we do to have some fun and to shake up the routine? And this is trying different things. So don't be afraid to explore whatever that is for you, whether it's travel or whether it's taking a class together or, I'm not seeing, I do have the Ace of Cups here, and that's intimacy, and Ace of Pentacles is receptiveness to that. So it could be just deciding like, hey, I'd like to try this, or do you want to do this, or I want to spend more time with you. Putting it out there and letting the other person give some feedback. It looks to me like it can work, but you need to talk about it because some of you are bored. Some of you are looking for something different or some sort of a change. So try to do that change together if you can. If you're open to that, I think that things could change in a way that's exciting. All right, for those of you that are looking for love this month, the first thing that you need to sort out is your financial situations and also your deadlines and your allocation of time and energy, because you're busy, working a lot and focusing a lot on money. I definitely see that. It also seems like some of you might need to let the dust settle. So if you just moved, because the Death card in the Tower can be a recent move, I feel like it's just like, get involved in the community, unpack your boxes, just basically get your bearings first, because adding a person into that mix is almost too much too fast. So sorting out your resources, getting settled in the job, getting settled in your home, all of those things are first and foremost what are coming through. Independent of all of that, the universe may just throw a relationship into the mix. And they're not necessarily showing me what they look like, which I kind of like. There could be, a water sign that's coming in, but basically what I'm seeing is a wish being fulfilled and the timing being pretty inconvenient because there's a lot going on. So you might be on the rebound, health rebound, relationship rebound, or you're just recently into a new situation and it's like, now I'm going to balance this. The universe thinks you can handle it. So if you've been trying to manifest, it's coming through now. So just do your best to get everything as balanced and sorted and grounded as possible, and I think you'll be okay. I do think it's a great time for love. I think the important thing here is to see that you are worth it. Enter into this new relationship thinking, not why did they ask me out, but why did it take so long? See yourself as being totally worth that offer, because there's more to come where that came from, because we've got the two aces. So also be discerning. What do you want? Don't kind of like just leave it all up to the universe. There should be some specificity there as well. The Fate card is amazing, by the way, when I'm looking at those seeking love. This, to me, for those of you that have had difficulty in love, could represent the change or the shift or the opportunity that you've been waiting for. And again, it comes in a package and a timing and a way that you couldn't plan out, that it's just kind of thrust into your path because now is the time. And this is part of the rapids that you're going through. And that would be the third piece of it. I told you there were like 3 different elements here. So if we look at this, we have the Tower, which is you. That was the invisible one. But this is change and movement. This is an end of stagnation, and this is a big surprise. So 3 elements of change coming through, just like water, earth, and air. Okay? Now let's look at those of you that are single and happy, or recently divorced, or widowed, or widower, and you're not necessarily looking for love. Something big is opening up for you. It could be attached to career, money, or opportunity, because we have the Ace of Pentacles here in Fate. So for those of you that aren't attached to people, then I see a really cool opening here. And professionally, these cards are amazing. This is basically your vision, your passion, manifesting, people investing in it, something really big happening because of that, you being taken into a completely different stratosphere. The fact that all these cards are positive transmutes what death and the Tower mean, and the placement of death and Tower are important. They are just elements of change and movement, and death reverses saying an end to stagnation in the environment. So if you're ready and willing to travel or move, you're moving on to greener pastures is what I see. And there is something that you didn't even imagine possible that could be coming through with respect to career and life purpose and life path. It could also be a person. It could be attached to a person, but it doesn't have to be love. I just see this beautiful door opening up for your sign this month. So that's pretty darn exciting, isn't it? I think it is. All right. As we look at your destiny card, we have Afterglow and then this caption beneath it, which says land gracefully. The destiny card is your trajectory. You can always change it. You can always course correct it. But with this sort of message, I don't think you really need to. You're on the right path. It's a nice comparison, or it's a nice contrast to this. So the tower shows a person falling. The afterglow shows them landing gracefully. It's saying if you want to transition into anything new, like leaving a job, leaving a relationship, you can do so without kind of burning the bridge. It also tells me if there's a big change in your life, moving into something new, trying something different, that it isn't a crash and burn sort of thing. It's a gentle transition into this new and unexplored and unknown sort of thing. So there isn't this sort of like, rude awakening that you have to go through. It is something that you can prepare, something that you can navigate, and something that makes you feel really good. Some of you that have experienced loss in your life, the death card, this is also saying that now you are being rewarded with opportunity. The opportunity for many of you could be in love, and for some of you it could be in money or wealth. It could be a combination of the two. Whatever's coming through it's been set up. Everything that you've done so far is allowing you now to have this smooth landing. So I feel like you're on the right path, and that any change, any movement, any shift, you're going to be able to navigate it and do so with dignity and grace. All right, let's take a look at your final card next. Like it sounds, this is basically one pivotal thing that you can focus on to, I really think that the big idea this month is going to help you open the keys to the fate card. So let's go ahead, take a look, and see what the big idea has to say for this month. An end to pain is what we're seeing here. Things are starting to get easier for you. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. The Ten of Swords in reverse is saying, I don't need to experience lessons through the lens of pain or disappointment anymore. It also says that you are willing to be a little bit kinder to yourself. That it isn't about this binary, you're either succeeding or failing. Life is much more in this sort of intermittent wave. We don't get A's or F's. And I think I told you before, there is no failure. As long as you're learning, as long as you're adapting and you're embracing the opportunity, you're simply gaining context. You're simply improving. And so that's all that is. That's all that a setback is it's basically a pause so that you're ready and more prepared for the next level, which will be easier, and then the next one after that and after that. So you're constantly evolving and learning. I want you to prioritize your physical health and well-being. Ten of Swords comes through upright when you've overdone it. The reversal of this says, I'm not going to burn myself out. I'm not going to overcommit. If I feel like I'm getting sick, I'm going to take a day off and take care of myself. And if someone's unreasonably negative or cruel, I'm going to walk away from that because that energy is not worth my time, right, Apollo? As he woke up in the background, he says, absolutely, you've got to pay attention to what feels right on a mind, body, and spirit level. Focus on your spinal health and focus on your emotional health, because the Ten of Swords has to do with extremes when it comes to how much of an emotional load you're carrying, or also what you're kind of doing with your body. All right? Good messages. It is all about healing because the card was reversed. So making better choices based on what's healthiest and brings you the most happiness. That's what I'm picking up on there. All right, let's take a look now at blessings and blocks. Obviously, these are going to be things that can help you get further on your path. Also some things that could present some challenges. So let's go ahead and shuffle. Actually, one flew out of the deck, which is crazy. So this is your blessing, Seven of Swords. It did come through reversed, so we'll accept that. That's also about being accountable, but yeah, that was crazy. All right, let's take a look at your block, and we have Justice reversed, knowing how to say no. So these are great messages. The blessing is about understanding and seeing through illusion and seeing through deception, because the Seven of Swords is someone that's trying to get away with something, someone that says they're going to do something but doesn't. It's basically a lack of accountability. When the card is reversed, it's saying you're not going to accept that in your life. You're also going to make sure that you fulfill all promises, just like I was talking about. These two sevens are basically kind of related, because what happens sometimes is, this is good intentions sometimes. I'm going to try to do everything. I'm going to try to make it happen faster, but then you sometimes fall short. So what you're going to make sure that you do is not overpromise, not overstretch, to only do what you can adequately and accurately put your energy into. If there's anything that just feels like it's an overstretch, you're going to say, no, this isn't right, or this is going to be difficult, because we don't want to get into the Ten of Swords energy that we saw here, okay? So this is walking away from drama and trauma and options in your life that are going to make you feel like, you know what, this isn't worth my time and energy, okay? So you can see that. The blessing is you're recognizing a pattern, and you're going to walk into a different direction. Because one other way that you can read the Seven of Swords is to cut your losses. You see what's behind you, and you're not going to really connect with that anymore. For your block, we have Justice reversed. So for many of you, the block could just simply be, it's difficult to find the right balance. It's difficult to say no to do something that you know is going to be right for yourself, because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. This is about really standing that line between right and wrong, and also between what's going to be sustainable or not sustainable. There might also be something going on where it's just not the correct thing. So if it's a legal or policy issue and someone is not receptive to doing the right thing, you have to stand up to that person. There could also be just a need to walk away from things in your life that take you out of your zen, that take you out of your balance as well. So establishing balance, saying no, doing the right thing, these could present challenges for you. They're not insurmountable. You can make it happen. But the hardest thing is saying no, or this isn't right, or I don't want to do that, or you shouldn't do that. So standing up against an injustice or something that's imbalanced. But you can do it. It's just uncomfortable. And this whole month is about stepping out of comfort and stepping into something new. That's why you are the tower this month. And the surfing energy that I like to apply to that metaphor is you're the surfer going through the wave of change. So you can do this. It is just about owning it and being strong and standing up to people that don't want to change, or inflexible, or just don't want you to have that balance, because sometimes people try to kind of throw you off your game, but you're going to be okay. All right. We're going to move on to the reader's choice. Let's look at the cards here and see what's calling to me today. And I really want to look at fate. I'm going to do two cards. I've been doing this for the live premiere. So we'll take a look at fate. And I also think it's really important to look at the Seven of Pentacles. These are the two that are jumping out at me. So this is the big opportunity that's awaiting you. And this is the challenge, the stretching moment where you might be tempted to lose your balance, because we have Justice here in Tower. So I can kind of affect all of the, or look at the energies of all of these just by tuning into this. But we'll start with fate first. So let me pull both cards, focusing on the energy of fate for the first card. And we got the Lovers, which is cool. And let's take a look at what's coming through with Seven of Pentacles. Again, what's taxing you out a little bit. And we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, let's break these down. So for the first of the reader's choices here, we have the Lovers, which is clarifying fate. And it's basically saying the cool opportunity for many of you is an unexpected partnership. If you're looking for love, this is good. This would be a deep soul connection. For those of you that have been waiting to put something out into the universe, a product, a service, an idea, this is someone who's coming in, and again, they like what they see, but there's a little bit of resistance on your part, where it's sort of like, could this really be? I've been rejected so many times. Can I trust this person? So what we really want to do is dispel disbelief, to dispel any sort of feelings or fears that you're going to get wronged here. One of the things that we talked about earlier was, particularly when I was looking at finances, was just to get the proper legal protection. So as long as you've protected yourself, there's nothing to really be nervous about once you enter into a creative partnership then. But get that good legal background and foundation. Otherwise, I just see love, partnership, change, people on the horizon that are celebrating who you are. And for you, you're pinching yourself and you're thinking, is this really happening? Yeah, this is really happening. So there's a big opening, but there's doubt. There's people coming in, but the visibility makes you uncomfortable. There's love that's opening up or friendship or partnership for some of you, and you're worried, will it last? Is this the right thing? Will they take advantage of me? So you're going to prepare yourself. You're going to get everything sort of buttoned up and then just go with it and see where fate takes you. The next thing that I wanted to clarify was the Seven of Pentacles. What's the test with respect to resources? We have a card that would be closely associated also with justice and doing the right thing. So this is all about legal matters. It's about speaking your mind. It's also about intellectual property. So with the Queen of Swords, she takes action. So if she sees that there isn't enough, she'll say, I know that you would like all of this done. This is what is reasonable. This is what's realistic. This is what I'm going to do. If you want this, this is what I need. And then she waits for an answer. Or she reaches out and says, hey, we don't have enough for this. What do you want to do? How about this? She comes forward very direct, very clear, neutral, not overly emotional. She's going to stick to the facts. And this is how you can cut through the red tape of the Seven of Pentacles. Okay? Let's now go a little bit deeper, and we're going to look at the sun, rising, and moon portion of this. So as I said at the beginning, this whole reading can be applied to any aspect of your chart. This particular section is going to drill in a little bit more for these areas, but you can watch this whole reading for sun, rising, moon, Venus, or any part of your chart that you happen to know. But right now, let's take a look at these three and see what messages are coming through for you. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, let's begin with sun sign messages here. We have the King of Wands in reverse, and this is what I featured in the channeled messages, which was saying that you can think your way through any particular challenge or problem that's in front of you. I mentioned that the totem at what we were talking about, the bear, has a very large brain in comparison to its body and also compared to other animals. And so it's able to use tools, it's able to think its way through things. It may seem like it's big and clumsy, but it's not. It's a pretty smart animal. So you have the ability right now to take people by surprise and come up with a solution that they didn't think of. You have the ability to think out of the box. I forgot to mention that when I pulled the slide up. And the main thing here is to keep an open mind, because the King of Wands in reverse is a good thinker, but he isn't necessarily receptive to all that's in front of him. So I would say the big opportunity for you is to take the lead, to use your ability to innovate and to think through things, but to still listen to feedback and to still course correct and to be open to a different approach, because just because it did work before doesn't mean that you can't add something, a new layer into it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you don't want to ignore some best practices or some feedback. So there's a happy medium between what I put in the channel message and what's coming through here, which is keep an open mind and be able to course correct as you go along. Because if you are going down those whitewater rapids, you have to make sure that you can quickly move. You can't just be rigid. And that's the main message here. Quick adjustments, open mind, and leadership, but you're definitely being put in a position of power with the King of Wands, and I like that. All right, moving from the sun to rising messages, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So rising and ascendant often plays out in career and in sort of like public sort of energies that you might be doing in community and church and other places where you're kind of putting yourself out there. So we see a directional shift. Also, you saying, hey, I'm worth more, or I need this, or I'm interested in this. You're taking the wheel and driving. This particular Wheel of Fortune also carries with it transformational energy. It almost looks like death behind it. So it's saying, I am willing to try this on or try this energy out to see if it fits me. And we actually see the mask here on the Tower card. So you are being encouraged to imagine a different outcome, a different title, something that nobody else in your life thought maybe was possible, but you think, why not? And so the big message for you, for everyone that's looking at rising and ascendant messages, is why not? Why not try this? Rather than thinking what's the worst that could happen, what's the best that could happen, and where might this lead? So approach new windows of opportunity with curiosity, with enthusiasm, and see what comes of that, okay? It is also saying for you to take more of a hands-on approach with your money. And if you don't like something or you don't know something, change it, okay? But the Wheel of Fortune invariably, even reverse, is saying a change in fortune, and it's asking you to be the agent of change. Hands on the wheel, and then the death card is also, or the death energy behind the wheel is saying, like sort of a rebirth or a life after death or a rebound energy. So if you've gone through some challenges before, they've built up character and they've given you what you need to avoid them in the future. And who could ask for more than that? You're going to be smarter and better with your money, and you're going to embrace and appreciate opportunities as they come across your path in the future. As we look at the moon card, we have the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups represents a moment in time where you're being asked to shift your attention and your perspective. So there's always a morning energy that comes through with this. For some of you, you could be looking at why something didn't happen or why it's happening for someone else but not you. There could also have been, as we saw here in the cards, there could have been a pivotal loss or disappointment that happened. And you're focusing more on that than what's right behind here, which is the Two Cups. And the Two Cups are very kind of connected to the two aces that we saw here, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. One or two people or one or two opportunities that are opening up this great door. So this is saying it's okay. You're always valid in feeling any emotions, but the sooner you can open yourself up to see what else is around you, the sooner joy can come into your life. And there is no expiration date on grief, but there is an opportunity right now to experience other things in combination with that. So you can continue to grieve and to move through the loss and sort of like acceptance of a change in your life, but you can also embrace the positives as you step into that path. So as I look at this Five of Cups, the universe is saying it's not an either or. Get back out into the universe, start to engage with friends, allow for the morning to be a part of this, share some of what you're feeling with the people that you trust the most, but then look around you and see what else is going on and talk about other things too. So open it up. You don't have, never sweep anything under the rug, energetically. As an intuitive, it's important for you to, and as a very awake, soulful person, it's important for you to deal with how you feel. But don't miss out on something else. There's something beautiful, and we can see that with the Fate card that wants to knock on the door. Okay? Beautiful messages, really beautiful messages this month. And I'm excited for all aspects of Leo. I think that Sun, Rising, and Moon, you've got some exciting things to come through. All right, let's quickly look at everything that we covered. We went through channeled messages, the Celtic Cross, Big Idea, Blessings and Blocks, the Reader's Choice, and we just went through the Sun, Rising, and Moon. Now we're at the final portion where we're going to look at the meditation, sound bath, and the final card. Before we get into that, please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Do that. I don't ask too many times throughout the reading. It will help with channel growth, and it's also going to keep you in the loop. We're going to do some special things this month, like a Halloween special, so I don't want you to miss out on that. And until I get into my new apartment, I've been doing premieres, so you're going to miss out on those if you don't subscribe. So please do that so that we can stay in touch. You can follow me on social media as well, and if you want to give back, you can do that. All right, now let's get into the meditation today. So as I'm looking at this, I really am excited about the card of like the Fate that's opening up here. I also love that there was so many sort of openings here: movement, change, opportunity, and fate. So what I want to work on is the acceptance and the opening so that you can see it, so that you can receive it, so that you're clear. So we're going to really try to open up the receptivity, the Ace of Cups energy, so that you can receive all of this and greater. All right, so close your eyes for a moment and scan your body in this moment in time. If there's anything that you're holding on to, that you're having a hard time focusing on, get that out. If you have a question, like I said, write that down so that's out of your head too. We'll look at the final card in a second. Right now, all I want you to do is to tune in and say, I'm present, I'm here, and I'm clear of all those thoughts. So a nice deep breath, inhale. On the exhale, sigh out all of that stuff that you might be holding on to and allow yourself to just be even and open and present. Imagine yourself at the dawn of a new day. See yourself at a beautiful beach, your favorite beach in the world. You're the only one there. See yourself in a beautiful chair sitting down, just looking at the rising sun over the ocean. There's no clouds in the sky. It's perfectly clear. And as the first rays of sun start to rise up just from this little pinpoint, one of them reaches out and opens into your heart, your throat, your third eye. It's attaching to each of your chakra systems, and it's basically creating this perfect alignment and opening of energy, just like Apollo stretching in the background. Maybe you'll do the same where you're opening up to receive. As you breathe in, see the beautiful light coming into your lungs, this golden energy starting to course its way through each and every cell in your body. If there's anything that needs healing, if you've had an injury, if your heart is sad because of something that's gone on, if your head is clouded because of something that's occupying your mind or your emotional state, allow this light to go through and to heal, clear, cleanse, and dispel all of these things so that with each breath you take, you're clearer, you're healthier, you're stronger. I would love for you now to imagine that you are kind of like, you can do this in your meditation too. Raise up your hands in a sort of cup-like energy like this, where you're creating an ace of cups and you're reaching up to the heavens and you're seeing yourself almost like a sun deity. If you were to look at the sun rising up, it would be right above your head. So just like Ra or like one of the Egyptian sun gods, you're going to raise your hands up, you're going to cup the rising sun, and you're going to imagine that the solar energy is kind of falling into this cup-like shape that's around you. And it's going to move all the way from your crown chakra through your central nervous system, through your body, all the way through your toes. And you are this channel of light. As you stand here, you can actually position this like a satellite into any part of your life where that light is necessary. Like a laser beam, I want you to see yourself creating change, creating movement, healing, and making something happen. Hold your position on the one thing that you want to see the most change or healing in. Keep breathing. I'm going to grab the singing bowl. We're going to meditate for a couple minutes, and then I'll look at your final question. Keep breathing. All right. See the light now perfectly above you, the sun perfectly above you. You can bring the energy from the sun into your heart space and seal it there, knowing that you have your own sort of internal light source as well, capable of shining and creating and clearing and cleansing, just like the solar energy that you tapped into. See yourself glowing from the inside out. See the beams of light stretching out towards those points of interest, those points of focus that we highlighted in the meditation, and know that you are actively and constantly pulling in, creating, and manifesting your own destiny. With the next exhale, I'd like you to gently open your eyes and focus on the question that you've been holding for me. Whatever might be occupying your curiosity, whatever you might be trying to either manifest or move past, now is the time that we're going to look at that question. So this is your final card, your final question for today, and let's take a look at that. So you have the beautiful Three of Cups coming through, which basically is a yes. If we look at this on the upright, it's about meeting new people, celebrations, having fun, also being grateful and connecting to each and every step of this journey as something that you see as, something to embrace. So there's a lot to love with the Three of Cups. It's happiness personified. The reversal of this, though, carries with it some interesting things. Sometimes when we see this reversed, you might be feeling like you're on the outside looking in. You might worry at what people are saying. There could be gossip. There could be things being said or believed about you. And it's sort of like, how do I control that narrative? When you get to a point in your life where you're comfortable in your skin, where you've basically released the mask and you think to yourself, it doesn't matter, right? I am who I am. Take me or leave me. Then you don't care so much about this. The peer pressure, the acceptance, it doesn't matter. Have a seat at the table with the cool kids. You're one of the cool kids. You've done the work internally. And a lot of times, like if I could go back and counsel the younger me in high school, when you look at all of those kids that were popular, they were just projecting. A lot of times they just kind of had a lot of confidence. And the difference between a really popular kid and a not so popular kid, it was just that. It was how much they would talk, how much sort of ego they would project. So you have the ability to put yourself in any situation and thrive. And popularity, who needs it? Like, you can take it or you can leave it. The important thing is, are you feeling good? Are you happy with who you are? And sometimes less is more. The Three of Cups can also indicate a core group that you really connect with. Your sisters or brothers, your sort of like soul sisters or brothers out there, your chosen family. So I think it's not about the cool kids or the amount of people that are connecting with you. It's the quality and it's what you feel and believe about yourself, because that is what they're going to feed off of. So as a yes, no, yes, you can get what you're looking for. And yes, I see good news. And yes, I see love. All of these things are coming through. The only thing that I'm questioning is how you're connecting to all of this. Like, don't put too much weight in what other people think. Let's put it that way. The only other thing to look at with Three of Cups reversed is if you're trying to get someone to sign on the dotted line, commit, or engage in something, they may have hesitation. They need to feel that same connection as you do. So be confident, be clear, be willing to go another direction if someone else doesn't have that same connection and direct energy that you do, because you deserve all of that and more. Okay? That, my friends, is the monthly reading for the month of November. What a pleasure, what an honor it's been to be here and be present for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe before you exit. Leave a comment below as well. Let me know what resonated, and keep me posted throughout the month and let me know how everything's working out. I'd love to see you join me on social media as well. As I said earlier, it's at Nicholas Ashbaugh on all major platforms, or Ashbaugh on Twitter. And if you'd like to show some love and support, you can always become a member or add a super sticker, super thanks, or super chat below. All of those help ensure the growth of the channel and allow me to do more of what you all love here. More video, more content. So thank you so much. Until I see you again, wishing you all the best. Reminder of my schedule: I'm usually live every Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. I also do daily readings in the form of the 1 minute, 1 card readings, and I have special seasonal ones. This month I'll be doing a Halloween special. So keep an eye out for all of that and more on my main channel page. And from my heart to yours, I wish you all the best. Continue to shine brightly. Make this a great month ahead. And remember that one of the key things that came through today was trust. Trust in your ability to thrive, trust in your intuition, and just basically trust yourself. All right, take care, everyone. Lots of love and light. I'll see you soon.